Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. We're back again with another challenge circuit design contest playthrough. This time we've got Frag Hill Rock by Bobbyj, a fictional Irish links course that he has said was inspired by courses such as Lahinch, Tralee and Waterville. It's set in Western Ireland, not that I particularly know much about Ireland to kind of pin down an exact location, but I do know that this looks quite cool. He's gone for a cluster of green sites as one of his elements, um, which I think he actually had 5 in a small area. So let's see if we can see where that might be. Is that in here? Yes, it is, almost certainly. At this kind of confluence of rivers, so that's quite a um, cool meeting point for the holes. Definitely a very linksy vibe. Not too much in the way of bunkers, just from a cursory glance, but a cool looking plot. A lot of rolling, crazy land movement to it, so it'll be interesting to see how that impacts the play. And a very cool view off the first tee, the kind of with the lighthouse in the distance, rolling hills, planting, all very nice. A very kind of fleshed out vibe. We obviously want to be the preferred angle in is left of this pot bunker, but that wind is kind of heftily forcing us towards it. We're just gonna hope for the best, basically. Tough tee shot, first shot of the day, and I've missed it. Oh no, big bounce meant that I thought I'd missed it well enough to still be on the fairway, but I've actually kind of missed just about as bad as it can get. Luckily, the tailwind has pushed me up near enough the green that I've at least got a shot at it, and hopefully I can kind of use some of these slopes to maybe funnel the ball a little bit closer. Um, the pot bunkers, although I can't see the sand, that's kind of going to be an occupational hazard of having pot bunkers. I know they're there because of the sculpting and the heavy rough around them, and no excuses. I knew it was there, and I've gone and found it as soon as I started talking about it. Decent recovery shot, but certainly no gimme for par. Low lighting, a little dazzling, but again, that's kind of I caught the lip. Kind of part and parcel of the low lighting is that sometimes it is a bit extreme. But we start 1 over, so not ideal, but punished for a couple of poor shots, really. Par 3 second. I'm not the biggest fan of 2 being a par 3, but outside of that fact, looks like a cool hole. I like this pot bunker again. Again, like it's pretty clear. We can maybe just about see some sand in this one, but it's pretty clear that there's trouble there anyway from the sculpting. I take it that's a view of the clubhouse in the distance. And again, shows off the plot nicely. The rolling hills, very nice. Found the green, hold, yeah. So these greens seem to have a bit more life to them than some of the others that I've played so far in the contest. But they're also only at 127 speed, which is fairly slow. Um, so we'll see how that impacts things. Means that you can kind of ramp up the life to them without making them too punishing. So third hole, first par 5 of the day, maybe a chance for us to get back to level par. Looks like a reasonably accessible pin. That we probably want to be coming in from the left half of the fairway. The camber kind of kicks us down that way as well. So with this wind, we can pretty much use that bunker as a target line. He has manipulated the tees here, so that's going to play as a really short par 5 off of the forward tees, where we might be challenging this bunker. Maybe it would have been interesting to kind of get this water hazard involved a little more as a kind of risk reward element. I mean, I can fairly comfortably bomb it over it, and possibly, maybe, unless I've got a big headwind. Um, I don't really see any need to use this bit of fairway short of it. I'm not really ever laying up there. Maybe these bunkers as well, given that it's a short par five, these bunkers could possibly be tucked in closer to the green and a bit more punishing. I feel like if I'm missing the green here or here, like I'm already in a way kind of punished enough. Like if I get greedy and I put the ball here, that's maybe not getting punished enough for being too bold and not pulling it off. And get back down that hill. Oh, how's it stuck there? Slow green's coming back to bite me. One of the kind of good features of links courses is obviously the kind of sprawling panoramic views, and that seems to be something that we've got done very nicely here. Uh, looks lovely. The holes are kind of carved out of their own portion of the landscape while all being part of a cohesive kind of setting, like these kind of dunesy, hilly areas that carve the channels for our holes. Um, but they're all part of a larger system of rolling hills. Now a long par four, pin at the front. Probably want to be further right to fully remove this bunker from the equation, but it's probably far enough back that it's not too much of an issue. So kind of anywhere on the fairway is pretty good. And promptly go and pull it left, but wind helps me out enough. I feel like for maybe fully embracing that links vibe, the fairways could be wider and give us more options. I've already pointed out that perhaps it's a bit light on bunkers to really ramp up the kind of strategic element of things. And then if you look at, for example, Old Ainsdale, which I know was made for a higher level than Challenge Circuit, but they really tried to ramp up uh, like playing to the sides of fairways. Now this is one of our contest elements, the short par three, sub 125, I think. And it's an interesting one because the green is sloping front to back with like a big tier, but I kind of don't really want to go long. I definitely don't want to be short, be caught up in any of those bunkers, um, and then have to play a splash shot down the hill to a green that runs away from me. But my pitching, as you may have seen, is not always on target. That's not terrible, not great from 115 yards to 30 feet, but at least I'm on the green. At least I'm putting for birdie. If you don't get it there, it never goes in. Planting's really solid, I think. Not you're probably not gonna win too many beauty contests with a course like this in terms of planting because there's not really a chance to really set the world alight and stand out from the crowd. Um, but it is a very solid, well-made environment. Oh, pulled that. Just a slightly helpful slope keeping me in play. Just clouded over a bit as well. Maybe between clubs. I don't really want to go up on top of this tier and be putting back down. But a slight problem that video game golf often faces on par fives, especially reachable par fives and short par fours that I've talked about before, is often kind of how automatic the choice to go for it is. Like I've missed that green in just about the worst possible place, and I've still got a 10 foot of a birdie that I really should make. Um, so something that you, as designers, should be really looking at ramping up the trouble round greens on short par fours and kind of par fives that are going to be reachable. You probably want to be requiring two pretty much perfect shots, um, or at least two very good shots to be hitting a par five in two for the most part. Um, a lot of par fives in the game just play like long par fours, really. Um, and if you're not making a four, you often feel like you're missing out. To be fair, if the option to lay up is there, or if the option to go for it is there, sorry, most people are going for it. Well, this is an interesting green site, like a real lion's mouth thing on the go. Slightly into the wind, um, so maybe I can't get there. And depending on which tee set we're playing, it may not is well, it's definitely not drivable from 375. So that's quite interesting. I do wonder though if we play from where's the back tee all the way back here. No, we can't see the flag, so we don't necessarily know which side of the green we want to be playing for. So that kind of depends which side of the fairway we're playing for in a lion's mouth. If the pin is over here, we want to be coming in from this way rather than this way, where we'd be bringing this bunker more into play. Conversely, pin on this side, we don't want to be coming in from this way. Lion's mouths tend to work as good shorter holes because that exaggerates the angles a bit more sometimes. Um, stay up, stay up. But again, like we've just said, I mean, I've hit a pretty good shot there to drive the green, but it was a fairly automatic choice. Kind of laying up wasn't ever really part of my thought process there. There wasn't enough trouble around the green to convince me that I shouldn't be going for it. This is an interesting hole because if we play to the right, yeah, we're blinded by that pot bunker and that hill, and we're playing kind of downhill across the green. Um, like that's going to be a tough approach to stick. But the further left we go, the more we're bringing this dry creek and the beach. Is that out of bounds? No, it's in play. More bringing that into play. Really nice view across the river as well, the estuary. This bridge looks a bit awkward to my eye. The kind of There's very clearly two bridges joined at one, and it's not really a bridge um, that's designed for that. But we can only do so much with the assets we've got in the game, so not not too much of a problem. Nice halfway house in the distance as well, and a nice fast that's just about going to get lucky and hold the edge of the fairway. I like the undulations in the fairway that we're seeing, the little kind of micro sculpting. Really kind of brings things to life. Um, it just helps flesh out the environment, flesh out the plot a bit more. And yeah, decent shot. Lovely view back across the estuary again, across the bay. Lighthouse in the distance. Really cool. Does definitely give me very Linksy vibes. 4 in a row as well. Really making up for that cold start. Another short par 3. More trouble short. And a quite a bit of life to this green. Definitely wanting to be on the money. Really nice looking shot as well. A little bit dazzling again with the sun over here. Possibly tried to hide that glare a little bit with the boat, but it hasn't quite worked. But again, occupational hazard of low lighting. That's a bit of a push, and that's going to be a horrible putt. So let's just gently roll it up the slope and try and get it to trickle back down. Yeah, I'm happy with that effort. That could easily be 3-putt territory, especially if the greens are a bit quicker. Um, but they're doing the job for the level of difficulty that we're aiming for. And yeah, middle of the fairway, can't go too far wrong with that. Wind's really, really heating up. Side hill lie, big crosswind, and a left to right green. Happy with that. The greens themselves, let's just take a look at this one. He's got a good level of kind of linksy randomness to them, while still having them very cohesive. And part of that is the surrounding sculpting, how it doesn't just stop at the edge of the green. The sculpting continues into the surrounds and the approaches. Kind of the sculpting on the edge of the bunker here runs into the green. This sort of collection area continues down over here. This mound is continued off onto the sidelines. So yeah, it makes the greens interesting. They've got a lot of life to them, and really, they don't feel artificial as well, which is something that's quite difficult to do. Something I'm not necessarily very good at. Having said that, the greens are rubbish because I can't putt on them, and that was fully my fault. I'm very much enjoying this course, enjoying the greens. Um, right, we have a pretty on the nose choice, left or right of this pot bunker. Although I think into this wind, I'm not necessarily getting there, and it's pretty clear that the preferred line has got to be from the left, hasn't it? Although we're coming downhill, we're taking the bunkers out of play. We're coming downhill versus if we come in from this side, we're coming in over the bunkers, but sort of across the hill. So maybe that's the preferred play. But given the wind, I'm just going to aim at the left side of the fairway and let it push it back across. And yeah, can't quite get to the bunker in this wind anyway. So kind of split the difference and just found the middle. Nice view back across to the clubhouse again. Oh, that's an awful strike. That's about as bad as it gets. On the wrong section of the green. Big downhill putt. Just got to trickle it down the slope and hope that it just coasts up for a tap in. Yeah, good pace. Not the best read, but making our par. So again, a lot of life to the greens. That makes it fun to play. And might this be drivable? Yeah, this will be drivable from the other tee sets. I maybe can just about sneak it there. This is one as well that from forward tee we might have to think about whether we go for or not. Because if we go long, particularly if we're in this bunker, we've got a chip or a splash shot to a green that runs away from us with then trouble the other side. Maybe if the fairway kind of wrapped right up to the edge of these pot bunkers, and then you could really risk falling in. But I know the sculpting gets a bit funky when we try and get too close to steep slopes. But just try and bomb it up there as near as possible. Oh, get a good bounce. Ah, just in the heavy rough. So kind of again the worst of what could have happened. But a chance to maybe play a fun shot if this comes off how I'm envisioning it and just trickling down that slope to the hole. Nearly. Nice chance for something creative, and that could have been a really, really nice shot and a really good moment in the round. But I didn't quite execute it. But I hold a good putt, so the hole felt like a must birdie hole, I think. Um, I felt like I'd have given a shot up to kind of the field if I'm not birdieing that. Oh, that's an awful drive. At least it's on the fairway, but I've got a long way left into the wind to a tough green that's clearly not really designed. Um, with with a 217-yard shot in mind. Um, I say that I definitely have the I have options to play this, which is very kind of true of a links course. Like you'll almost always have an option to play. Um, there is a route to the green, whether it's kind of using these hills to slightly funnel the ball round, leave a long putt, or hit this kind of hero shot. But a big side hill lie. Just a little long, but from such a terrible drive, I'm not too displeased with that effort. Just means that I've got another really nasty chip, but that's on me for playing the hole badly and then chipping terribly as well. Um, Chance to save my par at least. That rock work in the background looks really natural. Are they actually rocks that he's buried, or no? He's just used the texture. Yeah, and that's part of why it looks so natural, so good, so well blended in because it is well blended in. Save par. Got away with one there. Not the most well played hole. Another par five, fairly devoid of trouble around the green again. Although we are asking questions of the drive this time. So if I hit a good drive, I'm rewarded with a chance of going for the green in two. I kind of have to miss these bunkers, but I also feel like another kind of problem that we can run into quite a lot is if I lay up with my 3 wood to back here and kind of take the bunkers out of play, then I'm probably not really able to go for the green in two anyway because I'm too far back. So then I'm just hacking out to kind of up near this bunker. Whereas if I miss the fairway or put it in the bunker from this tee shot, I'm also probably hacking up to near that bunker. So there's not a great deal of risk for the comparative reward. The reward being maybe a chance at eagle. The risk, not really. I'm not really risking a big number. So yeah, good bounce and holds the fairway. And now I've got a 4 iron in, and it's pretty much an automatic go for the green. Like that's not. There's not any reason for me to want to lay this up because even a even a fairly poor swing, a bit of a miss hit or a misread of the wind or something, I'm still up near the green. Worst case scenario, I'm in the rough. And I'm not really budgeting for hitting a shot that badly as well, which is probably a mistake seeing how I sometimes play this game. But, that one scampered on a lot more than expected. But we're putting for eagle, and even though it's a long way, there's not too much kind of. I've definitely had some shorter, trickier putts than this. I feel that I should probably be two putting this. Where's my length? It's nearly a full swing. I've underhit that. I panicked and didn't swing through it and have been punished. and a three-putt par. And as it so often happens, when I say how the hole is devoid of trouble, I then find a way to make a meal of it. So maybe I'm not really going to be able to see the green contours now, am I? It did slope front to back, which did kind of give my ball the hurry on long of the pin, which kind of set up that three putt. So possibly kind of taking advantage of my folly a little, uh, but I still feel like I go for that green with every single shot. Every time that I'm on the fairway, I go for that green, and it just so happened that I played that hole particular. I putted particularly poorly that time round. But a good birdie there, a nice fun par three that I hit a good shot on, and then right, we want to hold this high right side of the fairway for a easier time with our approach. But this wind is not the most friendly for that kind of shot. Stay there, that'll do. Another thing you can do on these types of courses is the fairway it's kind of dealer's choice, but the fairway can kind of swing into the back of the bunker here. And if you look at um, a good example would be the pot bunkers at Royal Lytham St Anne's, which are quite small, but the way the fairway feeds into them, they kind of have like a catchment area 2 or 3 times their size in some places, because of the way the ball is going to feed down into them. That's another poor shot. Luckily, I get to chip this one. Don't have to putt from 80 feet again. So that's definitely an option. Kind of a stylistic choice whether you want the full lap of light rough around them, or if you want them to play kind of that traditional links golf way. And then a long par three is possible. Sorry, long par four. It is possible that this par four is longer than some of the par fives we played. I feel not quite, but potentially a tough finish. Another green that sort of slopes away from us when we get there. So, oh, save my worst for last. I'm gonna make this one a difficult slog. Coming out of the heavy rough, I'm gonna have to hit 3 wood probably to try and get there. Nice clubhouse area, putting green. Is that a double decker driving range? It is. Very cool. Nice touch. Yeah, very much enjoyed the environment that's been created here. And kick on. Ooh. Let's go and explore the clubhouse quickly. The dumpster's on fire. How wonderful. Little kind of fire pit as well. That's a nice touch. Very much somewhere you'd like to go and hang out for a drink after your round. And you can heckle people coming down the 18th when they're standing over short little chips like this. Yeah, played it decent. So yeah, I feel like that course is probably scoreable, but also it definitely punished some mistakes, which I suppose is kind of what we want from CC level. It was good fun. I played a mixed bag of golf, but very much enjoyed it for a 6 under. Could have gone lower, but also probably could have been worse. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope to catch you in another one, and best of luck in the contest.